Lacey Etheredge Byrd and Timothy Shannon have joined forces to bring a new and exciting social experience to Palm Beach County. J. Riley Culture and Cocktails Live is an invitation-only monthly event for adults looking to make meaningful connections with interesting people. The Palm Beach Beat had the esteemed pleasure of interviewing the power duo behind this refreshing and innovative social brand. Here's what they had to say about the J. Riley experience.
My name is Lacey Etheredge Byrd. I am the founder of J. Riley Culture and Cocktails Live. I am a resident of West Palm Beach, but I travel throughout the country putting on events for J. Riley. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I'm also a proud mother of two, my son Jace and my daughter Riley, hence the name J. Riley.
Hello, I am Timothy Shannon. I am the principal of the Timothy Shannon Brand Group. I'm also an educator, born and raised here in West Palm Beach. Only ventured out to go to college, came back. And I am a relationship coach, matchmaker, just a well-rounded intellectual thinker and mover and shaker.
J. Riley actually was a brand that was established initially in 2008. Like I said in the introduction, it is the combination of my son and daughter's names, Jace and Riley. And it started out, we had a boutique, and part of our marketing plan, we did a lot of event marketing. And what I found is that people came to shop, but they stayed because of the events. And in particular, we used to do conversation and cocktails where people would come in, and we had this infamous couch that everybody who came into the boutique, once they sat down on that couch, it was like quicksand. And we would have the most stimulating and intriguing conversations within the boutique. And years later, even after the boutique was closed, people would still be, either talking about or questioning, when we would do that again, and, why did we stop, and this, that, and the other. So the entrepreneur in me decided that I wanted to do something again under the J. Riley brand, and I wanted it to be something that was clear, but at the same time that was broad enough that it can be a number of things. And that's where the beginning of J. Riley Culture and Cocktails came. I knew that there were some conversations that we needed to be having in our communities that we just were not having. And I wanted to be a part of the catalyst to start shaping up some of these dialogues and providing outlets and atmospheres where people could have this stimulating conversation with like-minded people, because as you get older, things like going to clubs and going to the bar, it kind of plays out, and you yearn for more meaningful experiences. And when you're in a club setting, you can't have a real conversation with people where you really get to know people or share ideas or debate or anything of that nature. So I wanted to create something that would allow us to do that. And with my co-host Tim, he and I had worked together on a few projects before, and we've always just naturally had good chemistry where we just work well together. So when I came up with the concept, it was a no-brainer. He was the only person that I reached out to as far as co-hosting, and it's been a match made in heaven ever since. We started out here in South Florida, West Palm Beach. We're going to be venturing to Atlanta starting in July, and then from there we'll be in Jacksonville and Daytona and in the rest of the country. So without further ado, I guess Tim would definitely be able to elaborate a lot more on what the J. Riley experience has been for him.
Well, the J. Riley experience has been an interesting one, intriguing one, engaging one. To get to sit next to and have conversations with people who are like-minded and some who are not so like-minded, to have that discourse of exchange of thoughts and ideas is the pinnacle of what the culture and cocktails are about. The culture becomes the most important aspect, and then we get to the cocktails and the real individuals come out. But it makes for a great cocktail, the pun is intended, that we have this culture, these minds that come together around these cocktails, and we have this mixture of people that makes this environment so dynamic.
Right.
And I think you cannot, there's no recipe for it. I don't think we came up with this is how it's going to be, this is how we're going to structure it. the cocktail just came together with a little ingredient, this little ingredient, a pinch of this, a pinch of that.
Je ne sais quoi.
Right. This is what we have at this point, and it just keeps getting better and better and better.
Well, it's two-part. A lot of times the initial topic, when we first start off the evening, will come from just experiences. A lot of times it comes from social media, what we're talking about, things we've seen on social media. But one of the things that makes this event successful is that we don't structure it to that extent. We allow the guests and the atmosphere to determine what we talk about. It's almost one of those things where it's like what comes up comes out. You know, we don't come in with a list of things. We're going to talk about this, 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 and this. We allow the flow of the evening, the guests that we invite, because all of our events are invitation only, to kind of dictate where the conversation goes. And there's a few different ways people make the list. One, you have to go to our website, www.jrileyculture.com, and sign up. We try to limit each event to 30 guests. And we choose people based on their influence, social media reach, geographical location, things of that nature. There's no set recipe. Sometimes we may just see a picture of a person on a profile that they send in when they sign up, and they may just look interesting, or they may look completely opposite of me. And I want to have exchange with people that are not like Tim and I. So it varies as to how we choose the people. Initially, when we started, we said that we would only invite each guest once and have a different group every month. But what we found is that every month, every person that attends wants to return. And if we invited you for a reason. We liked something about you that we thought would add value to the conversation. So it doesn't make sense to turn you away if you want to come back the next month. So we tweaked it, and now what we do when we're doing it for the first time this month is guests that have been to past events, they can return, but they have to bring a guest that is not acquainted with myself or my co-host. And that's how we keep the network going and keep it becoming like a cliquish type of thing. And even though it's exclusive, we don't want people to feel excluded. We wanted to have an air of inclusion. So that's how we kind of tweaked it as we went to include people outside of our own network.
I consider it a delicious social network where you have these trendsetters, you have these tastemakers, you have these socialites, you have these thinkers that once you get them in the room and you throw out a topic, it's like, I was just talking about this with my coworker, I was just talking about this with a client, I was just talking about this with someone on Facebook, and you get to get into the hollow mind of individuals, and you say, wow, I never thought about it like that, or I never saw it like that. And the people get to connect and meet people who they probably would have never met, but these people can make a difference in their careers, they can make a difference in their life, they can make a difference in their business and in their relationships. And that all happens in a matter of 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. Meaningful
connections that they probably would have never made outside of that venue. Because, you know, even though the internet brings us closer together, there is still that space that would not allow us to connect with like-minded people and lifestyle-minded people. And that's what the Culture and Cocktails aim is. Mm-hmm. And I think we're doing a good job at accomplishing that aim.
It gives you a more profound connection when you are face-to-face with people. And also, you know, my specialty is event marketing, and we have fabulous sponsors that allow for these events to happen, and they have fantastic products that we want to get into the mouths, into the hands, into the eyes of people that have these, you know, wide spheres of influence. So when our guests attend, they don't only get together and have conversation, they may eat foods that were sponsored by, you know, local chefs or local bakers, or they may get gifts in the culture boxes, which is a signature of all J. Riley events, coveted culture boxes, which are always filled with amazing items from great sponsors. So those things you miss out when you have a screen in between you and the individual. One of the primary focuses of this is to promote activism. You're bringing these people together, and we're having this dialogue, but then there's meant to be action behind the dialogue. If you go to the website, jrileyculture.com, you'll see Culture and Cocktails Live is one piece to a puzzle of three. The second part of that is going to be a monthly party with a purpose, when all of the attendees of the Culture and Cocktails Live event, we get together and we throw a party with a purpose for whatever charity we collectively decide for that month. And then the third piece is Dinner Dans Le Noir, which is going to be a monthly invitation-only dinner party with the same purpose. With the dinner party, not only is it meant to promote activism and charity, but it's also meant to be used as an education tool. Each theme will be centered around something that is going to allow J. Riley to be used as an engine to educate people on something.
I mean, like I said again, we are trendsetters, we are tastemakers, but we're not mobilized. We do a lot of stagnant things, we do a lot of talking, but not a lot of walking. So, like Lacey said, the impetus is that we will talk a talk and then walk a walk. We leave out of there wanting to do something more, expanding our spheres of influence, and at the same time, our spheres of philanthropy. That we are also connecting with organizations that are the hands or the legs of what we want to do. So even though we may not have the organization, we may not have, the wherewithal to even do it, but if there's an organization that has our mission, our life's mission or our passion in mind, why not put money where our mouth is? And so this is an avenue and a platform that allows for that.
Thanks to our fabulous sponsors. All of this is complimentary to all of our guests. You can always reach us on the website www.jrileyculture.com. That's JRILEYCULTURE.com. Connect with us on Facebook. We do a lot of our, we're bigger on Facebook. We're kind of new as far as our social media pages. We've only been there for a few months, so we're growing. It's J. Riley Culture. It's the Facebook page, and we're also on Instagram, J-Riley Culture. Again, the website is www.jrileyculture.com.